Good day everyone, I am Lawrence Libas and this is my topic on Ed 401, Field Study 1, Observation of Teaching and Learning in Actual School Environment. Unit 1, Theory to Practice, Observing Learners and Classrooms in the Philippine Education System. E. Learners' Behavior and Motivation, Multiple Intelligences. Have you ever looked at a student who struggles with a written activity and immediately thought maybe the student is not good at this subject? But what if we are asking the wrong question? Instead of asking how smart is this student, perhaps we should ask, how is the student smart? That is the central idea behind our discussion today. We are going to look at how multiple intelligences can help us observe learners more broadly, but more importantly, how we can use observation responsibly. Traditionally, intelligence is often treated as something that can be represented by a single measure, usually through academic performance. So we might ask, how smart is this student? The field study perspective encourages us to reframe that question. How is this student smart? The difference may seem small, but pedagogically speaking, it is very important. The first question focuses on measuring the learner, while the second, it encourages us to observe the learner, their strengths, how they respond, how they participate, and the opportunities where they seem to perform more effectively. And this is especially important in Field Study 1 because observation should be descriptive before it becomes interpretive. In other words, we observe first before we conclude. Now, by the end of this discussion, there are 6 things that we should be able to do. First is to explain Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. Second, distinguish multiple intelligences from the learning style misconception. Third, identify observable classroom behaviors that may indicate learner strengths. Fourth, analyze how these strengths connect with participation, behavior, and motivation in the Philippine classrooms. Fifth is to apply observation without labeling or stereotyping learners. And finally, reflect on how we can design learning experiences that recognize learner diversity, which connects with PPST domain number 3 or the diversity of learners. So this isn't simply about memorizing the 8 intelligences. It is about learning how to look at learners more carefully. The traditional view of intelligence tends to emphasize linguistic and logical mathematical abilities. Howard Gardner challenges this narrow view by proposing that intellectual competence can be expressed in relatively distinct and multidimensional forms. These are the 8 intelligences presented in this discussion: linguistic, logical mathematical, spatial, bodily kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. One important clarification, however, is that learners do not possess only one intelligence. A learner may demonstrate several strengths in different combinations and degrees. Like, for example, someone may be very good at mathematics, but that does not mean mathematics is the only area where they are capable. They may also demonstrate strong interpersonal skills, spatial reasoning, and other strengths. So, as future teachers, we should avoid putting learners into a single category. Now, let's make these intelligences more concrete through classroom behavior. For linguistic intelligence, we look at effective use of words and communication. For example, in a social studies class, a learner might explain the causes of the Philippine Revolution in their own words. But notice the important reminder here A quiet student is not automatically linguistically weak. They may simply express themselves better through writing, Filipino, or their local language. For interpersonal intelligence, we can observe how learners interact and work with others. For example, during a group investigation, a learner might naturally divide responsibilities among group members. But again, being talkative does not automatically mean interpersonal intelligence. For logical mathematical intelligence, we might observe reasoning, patterns, and problem solving. For instance, instead of simply memorizing population statistics, learners could analyze data and identify geographic patterns or possible cause and effect relationships. And finally, intrapersonal intelligence involves understanding one's own emotions, motivations, and thinking. One example is a student evaluating their own performance after a debate and asking, "What did I do well and what should I improve?" That's actually an example of metacognition in action, thinking about thinking. The remaining four intelligences reminds us that learner strength can also appear through physical, artistic, and environmental interaction. Spatial intelligence can be observed when learners understand and manipulate visual information. For example, using maps to understand the location of the Visayas in a Philippine map. The musical intelligence involves sensitivity to rhythm, pitch, melody, and musical patterns. A learner might use a song, chant, or rap to remember major events in Philippine history. For bodily kinesthetic intelligence, learners may use their bodies effectively to express ideas or solve problems. For example, instead of simply writing about government structure, learners could simulate the roles of a barangay council through a role play. And finally, naturalistic intelligence involves recognizing patterns in the natural environment. In a Philippine community, this could involve classifying local plants on animals, or something particularly meaningful in communities connected with farming, fishing, agriculture, or coastal environments. The important point is that these strengths can become visible when we give learners opportunities to demonstrate them. Now, this is one of the most important distinctions in the entire presentation we are having. Multiple intelligences is not the same as learning styles. The learning styles misconception suggests that learners have fixed identities, such as being a visual learner, and therefore should always be taught according to that particular style. For example, Maria is a visual learner, so she should only learn through pictures. The problem is that this can place learners into rigid categories. Multiple intelligences takes a different approach. Instead of saying Maria is a visual learner, we can say Maria responded effectively to visual representations during this particular activity. That difference is very important. We are describing what we actually observed rather than assigning a permanent identity. So as observers, our goal is not to determine what type of learner is this. Our goal is to ask, what